watching this video, you're obviously like a black person, period, that's interested in college. So congratulations to you. Being black in college is important, period. So let's go ahead and get on with the questions. HBCU versus PWI.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I don't normally do intros, so this is kind of awkward for me. I normally vlog, so this is a new video. But today we're doing HBCU versus PWIs. I go to HBCU, and this is my best friend, Amaya. She goes to a PWI.
I go to University of West Georgia. Go Wolves.
Go Pirates. We're gonna do our introductions because we're both women in STEM, so you can go ahead and like explain like why you chose a university, what university you go to, all that.
Okay, so I go to University of West Georgia. I remember applying. I one day checked my emails and it was like, congratulations, you've been accepted. And my mom was excited because she went there, and I had other family that went there, so I chose it because it was most convenient. I didn't even think I was gonna go to school. Cause it was like COVID, it was like after a little after COVID, and we were still online, so it was like school was not exciting anymore. And you know, a lot of the schools like either took or didn't take test scores, so that's how I got there. My major is biology. I don't minor or anything, but I think I want to kind of minor in English. I know they don't go together, but I like English.
Okay, so my little introduction. My name is Joel. I attend Hampton University. I'm a second-year biochemistry major on the pre-med track with a minor in material science engineering and Africana studies. So like she said, they don't really entangle, but I feel like having a background outside of science is important, because I feel like if you're not like socially aware, you kind of end up being like this full science person, and you're kind of just like boring. No offense to anybody. Let's go ahead and get on with the questions. HBCU versus PWI. Do you feel like your institute prepares you for the real world?
You experience a mix of everything. Like sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'd be real awkward around white people. Like you mostly see like the white people hang with the white people. There are like racial mixed groups and friendships. I'm not saying that when you go to a PWI, like the black people are gonna be with the black people, white people will be with the white people. It's fun. It's really diverse, and I think that's what I like most about this school. Is really diverse. So I guess in a way it does prepare you in the real world. Sometimes classes you can sign up for to get to learn about different cultures and races and the foods. Apart from that, I think I like it. It's cool. Go Wolves.
Go. And to answer that question on my part, do I feel like my institution prepares me? Definitely. Hampton is very big on making sure that we get outside experience just out of our HBCU. So, and my school is pretty diverse to be HBCU. I know you've been on my campus, so you saw like white people, Asian people.
I did not know where they came from.
Mexicans, Hispanic people in general, because we have a lot of Afro-Latinos on campus, period. So like, there's diversity, especially just like being black in itself. There's different black groups. Like there's people that are there from Africa. There's people that are literally there from Canada. Like there's so many different places where black people come from alone. So I feel like my institute prepares me because they expose us to a lot of those spaces, especially because I'm in STEM. Both of us are in STEM. We make up like 3% of the population, period, when it comes to like STEM majors. So they definitely prepare us for that.
They have like after school clubs and internship opportunities, also like study abroad opportunities, mentorships.
Yeah, so same with the HBCU. So yeah, not too much on the lack of opportunities at the HBCU. Yeah,
they got a lack of dorms.
Your social life at your institution, was that like what?
Oh my goodness, I love this story. I'm going into my 3rd year, so I'm an upcoming junior. Kudos to me, because I wanted to drop out 3 seasons ago. Okay, so my freshman year, I absolutely did not leave my room. I did not go out. I did not mingle. I didn't go to parties. My sophomore year, I was outside. I also got a job at our cafeteria, and I started making so many friends, and everybody was just like, hey Maya, hey Maya, hey Maya. I'm look up, people are like, how do you have so many friends? I'm like, they're not friends, they just know me. My social life was very fun. When you go to the parties, you definitely meet people, but you have to like want to meet people. You can't just think it's gonna come to you. You have to go and mingle and like just walk up to people, just start talking. You will make friends.
I feel like the difference when it comes to our institutions with social life, my institution is very big on like family based because it's so much smaller than her college. So like even when she was on campus, people were walking up to her like off the strength of their own, like, trying to get to know.
Like, who are you?
Yeah, because our campus is so small, so everybody wants to pretty much know everybody. So I would say that about my social life. I don't have to go out of my way to talk to people, like how she kind of had to like put herself out there. The next question, because y'all like to try HBCUs, whose curriculum is harder?
I definitely feel like HBCU's curriculum is harder because I originally wanted to go to Tuskegee. I think I'm gonna go there grad chapter. I heard that they are very rigorous. They are strict, and it's like you have like you're gonna cry. But I feel like because I'm a STEM major, I'm just gonna cry anyway.
Right, you're gonna cry regardless.
I'm just gonna cry regardless.
I would say, because I have experience with PWI institutions. I did dual enrollment at GSU. I flew through those classes so easily. At Hampton, you definitely, you have to try. And if you don't try, you're not getting the grade that you want. Now, I will say that my professors are very hands-on. Like, they will make sure that you are at least doing like everything in your power to get that grade, but it's not gonna be handed to you like how it was at like GSU.
Most of the teachers I had were very lenient though, so
yeah.
Like for the times I did have like strict to the bone professors, like sometimes they let me remake quizzes. They'll even tell you like, hey, I don't know if you notice you missed this quiz, like just get it to me before. So I definitely feel like if you fail in classes at a PWI, I have failed a class or two myself. It's because you're not trying hard enough and you're just accepting the bare minimum, because it's very easy at my school. I don't really think it's hard. It's definitely challenging, and you can also sign up for classes that'll challenge you more. But it's kind of like you would kind of have to like fail on purpose if you just like not doing anything, not studying, not.
So how do you feel about your college's like school spirit, like school morale, like how all of that is?
Okay, so I feel like my school spirit is really fun. Not just mine, but like the whole university's spirit is fun. There's not a group or club that you will see on campus that doesn't have any type of like fan base or support. Our sports games, our football games are fun. It's not like no HBCU game, of course. But I definitely think the school spirit is fun. The volleyball games are really, really fun. My freshman year, they were. Basketball games, front row is where it gets really fun. Front row and student section is where it gets like really turned up. Every break or timeout or so, they'll let you come. Like you can win a shirt, you can answer questions and a quiz. And when you can win cash prizes, it was a whole row, the loudest row. They each got $100, and they did that a couple games.
My HBCU doesn't have that funding.
We be doing like 1K half court shots. Like it's very fun.
My HBCU don't have that funding. Half court shots, you get a T-shirt maybe. Hampton school spirit trash. Hampton's pride. Hampton has pride like no other. Like they will go to war for that school. But our football team is sorry. Our basketball team is sorry. Nobody shows up to the volleyball games. We don't really have like school spirit when it comes to sports. Maybe because our team is bad. But I don't really think your football and all that is that good either.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't keeping track.
Yeah, it's not really that good. But like, Hampton does not have school spirit, but they definitely have Hampton pride. Like they will go to war
for it. Yeah, I get it.
Question: whose parties are better? I can't say, but she's spent a week.
Okay, so I've been to one of her parties, and it was so fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was outside. I don't know whose house was at. We was chilling, and then they stopped the party. Everybody in the front yard. But our parties are kind of like that too. I'm not gonna lie. At PWI's party, it's kind of like an HBCU at night. The parties are really fun. She hasn't been to a PWI party yet, so I don't know if she think like the parties are like racial mix. Like, not to say that like the white people don't come to our parties, but our parties are like majority just black people, and it'd be like apartment parties or a pool party.
But you have to find those like black spaces though, compared to like mine.
Well, our parties are thrown at our off-campus student housing, so really all the apartments get turned up. Sometimes the police come shut them down. We'll move into another apartment complex. One of our complexes have like a big bonfire and like seats. So like at the end of the year, my last semester, that's where most of the parties were at. We also had this space in the woods. It's not like the woods in the scary movies. You know, we don't play like that. PWI woods. It was not like that. It was actually really cute. You go down this trail and through a gate up a hill with fairy lights, and there's like park benches and fairy lights throughout the trees. Those our parties there in October were really fun. We had a costume party in the woods. It was fun. If you know, you know. The woods, y'all, at 10 o'clock.
Her institution is so scary. Like, even driving in the daytime, like, it looks like the KKK is gonna come out. Like, it's where she goes to school at. It's very country bumpkin. Like, there has been some racial situations.
It has been some racial situations. Like, not on campus, but like near, like 15-20 minutes away in some of the towns. Like, it's been little news.
Hey, do you have any advice for a black girl going to a PWI?
Definitely follow the pages. For my school, I think all colleges do this, but like they would do like UWG class of 2025, and like all the people who were that class that were coming to this school, they would send the person who ran the page a picture, and like people would make a few friends, like a familiar face to see. First day, like the first 3 days, really the first few weeks, but like them first 3 days is where everybody's really gonna be meeting people. You try to know some people before you actually get on campus. Do not move in with the first person who asks you to move in with. If y'all do like the quizzes, take them quizzes and get to know that person before you actually move in with them. Because my freshman year roommate, I loved her. Amia, if you're watching this, I miss you. Also would say, go outside and get a few numbers and meet up with some people. I always feel like it's nice to get you a couple like friends that feel like home, like your homegirls. And besides that, like you can explore and meet people. I just know like I like to feel comfortable around my friends.
Okay, what's the biggest pro and the biggest con of going to a PWI?
I feel like, okay, maybe our biggest pro is there's so many financial opportunities. A lot of scholarships, a lot of mentorships, internships. Their housing is nice. I'm not gonna say like they're lenient, but I never really had a problem when it came to housing. Sometimes the teachers, like the better connection you make with them, the more opportunities like they'll lead you to. Especially my mom would be telling me to go to that financial aid office and be speaking to them ladies because they'll find you some money. They will. That's my advice. But cons, I feel like my school's biggest con is just not having security, on campus security. I just didn't like how they just let people come on our campus. Like they could have been a threat. You don't know what they had on them. It's not like they checked them. Like he had a book bag full of stuff, but if you would put up, like, I'm not playing that. That's our school's biggest con.
Next question was for me, biggest pro and biggest con. I would say the biggest pro of going to HBCU is the family aspect. Like you can talk to any alum. You can find basically anybody that goes to a HBCU, period. Like you guys just automatically connect because you guys have that HBCU experience. So just having like those mentorship opportunities and just opportunities to just meet people in general just because you go to HBCU, especially going to Hampton, they make sure we connect with our alumni. The biggest con I would say is funding. I can definitely see the difference between institutions when it comes to funding. Like she FaceTimes me from her labs, and her labs look completely different than the labs that we have at Hampton. The amount of like experiments and like opportunities that she has like within her lab, like I'm not gonna say like Hampton's lab isn't up to par, because it's definitely up to par. We have grants and stuff, but it could be bigger than what it is if we had the same funding that PWI's had. Hampton is a private school as well, so we get a lot of our funding from alum and just a lot of donations and stuff like that. So we don't really get funding from the state. So most of our funding comes from tuition, alum, donations, stuff like that. Next question is, if you could do it all again, what would you do differently?
I do everything over again, including my senior year. It's nothing about, that wouldn't have been my first pick. I wasn't really, it's not that I wasn't excited about school. I had a lot, it was post-COVID. Yeah. My anxiety was through the roof. I was very socially awkward. I forgot any type of open communication skills. My social skills were horrible. My first pick of schools, I probably would have gone to an HBCU. But if not an HBCU, I definitely probably would have wanted to go to UGA. I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I know Tuskegee is one of the top HBCU vet programs, and UGA is one of the top universities, period, that has like one of the best or better vet programs. Mm-hmm. If I could do it all again, I would not go to West Georgia. I wouldn't live twice.
Anything differently? The only thing that I would do differently is not be so turned off by HBCUs. When I was applying for college, I was not going to HBCU. I was actually planning to go to Augusta. I didn't apply to Hampton until like a week before their deadline was. So I didn't even get my acceptance until like a month or two before decision day. So I was not stunting no HBCU like at all, because everybody was in my ear saying, oh, all the money's at the PWIs and sort of third. I got a scholarship to every school that I applied to. So don't let those outside things like affect your decision about where you want to go. Yeah, go where the money resides, but also go like where your heart resides, like where you feel like best at, where God's leading you. So what I would do differently is apply earlier, because I probably would have got a bigger scholarship. Out of school early, because if you apply early, if you apply that first semester, that's when they're like giving away the money. Like,
if not Hampton, where would you have gone? If
not Hampton, I would have gone to Augusta.
No other HBCUs was mine?
I applied to other HBCUs, but I don't know. Hampton is my school. Like, God was not playing with me about Hampton. Like,
HBCUs, like, a lot of people also go to PWIs because, like, HBCUs tuition, like, even if you have, like, a good GPA, if you don't get that scholarship, like, that money is real funny acted. And HBCUs be charging. They really be taxing. So,
and that financial aid packet is not good, baby. I'm telling you. It's not.
And everything is, like, 10 times more expensive. Her meal plan and my meal plan, they're not touching. And they feed us pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah,
her lowest meal plan I think is only $4,000 or $5,000. Our lowest is $500.
Yeah.
Our highest isn't even $3,000. It may be now, but no.
My tuition is $43,000 a year. Yours is what, like less than half?
Less than that.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. Do you have any regrets about the school that you chose?
A lot of regrets. I just wouldn't have gone. I just don't feel like this is the school for me. I don't feel family connected. The teachers, though, I really like the teachers. All the teachers I've had, I've liked most of them. But this just wasn't the PWI for me. If I had to go to a different PWI, it would have been UGA or Kennesaw. Not looking at more schools out of state. That's probably one of my biggest regrets. I probably wanted to get away.
To answer the question, I don't regret Hampton. I love my school so much. Like, every time somebody asks me about Hampton, like, I get like the biggest smile on my face. I love my school. What was your best experience at your school?
First time I went out, it was spring bling. I'm smiling, looking out the window, reminiscing. It was spring bling my freshman year. Mind you, like, I didn't go out all year. We have this big football field that's not like our main football field. It just has a football pole, and it's just like where like them kids be going to play frisbee and like all that other stuff. And we had a silent headphone party. That was the first party I went to, and it was so fun. And that same day, Tinker came. I know everybody don't really listen to her, but Tinker came. It was just really fun that day.
My greatest memory at Hampton, ooh, this is hard. Definitely when she
was part of Hampton.
Definitely when
she didn't have fun until I came there.
I didn't really get out of my full shell until she came. I would say when she came, we had a blast that week that she came.
It was so fun.
That was my best week at Hampton. And I will also say another time, when Darty season hit. Oh,
what's Darty season?
It's when we have day parties at like parks and because my school's by the beach, so at the beach and stuff.
That's so
fun. Choose a PWI over HBCU.
What made me choose a PWI was really funding. I really wanted to go to an HBCU. My sister went to an HBCU. She went to Fort Valley. Wanted to experience that diversity. And my mama also thought that I was going to turn into a big party crackhead and just be out every day, because that's what HBCUs are known for.
And we need to break that stigma, because we are more than parties. We do our work.
Y'all do work.
But be successful black people.
I mostly chose a PWI because of financial costs. I was also on Hope, so I wasn't really paying anything. I'm really not even paying anything now.
And the question was asked vice versa for me, and like I said before, God literally led me there. Hampton was not on my radar at all. There was no really big reason. When I made my college decision, it wasn't HBCU versus PWI. It was really institution versus institution, honestly. Because, nothing was drawing me to a HBCU, honestly. Not those, monolith experiences that people love to talk about. Nothing, I was not specifically drawn to an HBCU. I was drawn to my institution, period. Interested in graduate school, so this is kind of just a broad question. Would you choose a PWI for graduate school?
What would be for me is institution versus institution, but a little bit of HBCU versus PWI. I really wanted to get a feel of that HBCU experience, but grad chapter is not going to be no jokes. At that point, I don't care, because I'm not going to be going to parties. I'm going to be at work, on that book, and at home. I can't. it's gonna be hard. I know it's gonna be hard. I think I would probably want to go to HBCU, but I don't know. Like, I really can't answer that question yet. It would be those top 2 schools.
PWI or HBCU for graduate school. Whoever takes me, honestly.
Right.
Whoever accepts me. To my knowledge, there's not that many HBCU medical schools. I know of 3 medical schools. I'm a part of a cohort for Howard's medical school, their scholar program. So they're on my radar. Hey, Meharry, that's a good medical school. I'm really interested in Morehouse medicine. So like, if I could just pick my dream school for medicine is Morehouse medicine. So I guess HBCU, but also University of Michigan. Morehouse and Michigan are tied, like, really bad. How inclusive is your PWI?
I think we are very accepting. I see a lot of mixed racial groups. We have like Chinese festivals, the Indian festival, like with the colors and stuff. We just had one of those.
With the pigments?
Yes, and the food was pretty good for them not to be cooking it. It was, you know. I think we're very inclusive. There's something for everybody. There's something literally for everybody. People in the LGBTQ community, people who are religious, literally a group for everything.
Like the students are inclusive as well, like they're accepted.
Yeah, the students have to be inclusive because
you have to.
You have to be. Like, what do you mean?
Is it inclusive? I mean, my friend group is inclusive.
Not your school. Not your friend group.
I think when Black people see people of another race on their HBCU campus, their first thing is to become kind of protective. So I would say that it's a little harder for other races to be a part of the school, like, itself. Like, Hampton is pretty diverse, like, with the people that we have on campus, but people, like, students themselves will question and be like, why are you here? But I mean, my closest friend on campus is Indian, so and I did question why she was here. When I first met her, I was like, what made you come to HBCU? Because what made you come to a historically Black college or university as this other race? Because, I mean, this institution, it was not made for you. You, like, honestly, you could have went anywhere else, but you came here to learn our culture and things of that nature, and just to get the opportunities as well. So you can't knock somebody for trying to get opportunities. Like, that's first and foremost. I would say that HBCUs are standoffish to other races and cultures, but we're not accepting. Like, we're just gonna question you as first, because I mean, as Black people, we kind of have to protect our culture and stuff like that, because they will gentrify it real bad. This question specifically for you. It says, do you wish you went to HBCU? I feel like you've answered this like a million times.
It really wouldn't be if I would have went to a HBCU. I feel like if I would have went to a different PWI, I still kind of want that feel of an HBCU. Like, the HBCU life feels so fun, and I really did feel at home. Like, I was life of the party everywhere I went, and I didn't even go there. It was just real fun and welcoming and warm, and her campus specifically was really cute. Her cafeteria is nice. They live on a waterfront. I was out there reading. It was just a really nice feel. So I don't know, but that was just an HBCU, like a PWI could have been built on that ground, and I still probably would have liked it. I would probably go to an HBCU if I had the scholarship money, and if I was set on that school, I probably would have went. Yeah.
Questions for me are all HBCUs unprofessional. I haven't heard of HBCU that's not unprofessional, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest. I have a lot of friends that go to HBCUs and they don't have housing, they're having trouble with financial aid. Yeah, I would say that it's unprofessional. We have this thing at Hampton called the Hampton Runaround, where they will not direct you to the right thing. They'll direct you to the roundabout of what you need to do. So let's say you need to get an override for a class. They're gonna tell you, you need to go to the math department to go get that override. But the math department is gonna tell you, you have to go get the forms from another building. So then when you go to that building, go get the forms, they're gonna tell you that they don't have the forms and you need to go to another building and go get that forms. And it's just gonna be that continuous process over and over and over again. So Hampton definitely has a runaround problem. Never had trouble with financial aid. The money drops when it needs to drop. So, but I know a lot of people have had trouble with financial aid. Like, I've had some friends that haven't come back because of financial aid. So I would say, yeah, they unprofessional. Special about an HBCU. This is the last question, but I'm gonna ask you what's so special. Like,
I really feel like the main thing that's special about an HBCU is it's like that life. Like, it's very homey, it's familiar. Like, it's a lot of people that relate to you and have the same experiences. Y'all understand the world and the problems that PLC group faces in the real world. So it's definitely not like kicking it with your homegirl Sarah and you trying to tell her like this lady looked you up and down at the store.
Yeah, she's not gonna understand.
She's not gonna understand. Like, I see everyone equal.
And then my biggest thing that I would say, like, that makes the HBCU so special is that you're seeing people that look like you where you've never seen them before. Like, I've never seen this many black doctors. I've never seen this many black women in STEM. I've never seen this many rich black people, period. Rich people that go to my school, they got money. They in PG County living fabulous. So, like, like, they have summer homes. And I just seeing, like, black people so successful.
Well off.
Yes. Hampton excellence is a thing. HBCU excellence is a thing. Black excellence is a thing. Any institution you go to, you're there to, like, make a change in this economy, in this environment, period. Like, wherever you go to school at, black people need to be educated. So just, like, seeing those things, like, at your HBCU, it's just a warm feeling. Like, especially because it's like, if they can do it, I can do it too. So I would say that's the biggest thing about going to an HBC. Yeah. That was the last one. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video today. I hope you learned something. I remember watching these videos when I was trying to make my college decision, so I'm hoping you guys got some insight, and maybe you'll end up at Hampton, maybe you'll end up at UWG. DM us on Instagram if you have questions. I'm gonna put our Instagrams right here. Tap into her hair page because she did my hair. Don't play. Thanks for watching and be blessed. Oh yeah, and like, comment, and subscribe. I don't never tell you guys to do that, but
do that.
Now I'm telling y'all to do that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.